Hey kids, this is Simon. How you doing? Auf Wiedersehen. Love that tune. Anyhow, today I want to talk to you about why the heck am I making so many freaking videos? So, I'll give you like blitzkrieg history and then kind of go into, what's going on. So essentially what happened was I returned back to the hobby sometime around like 2010 after like, hiatus for several years, kids and all this other kind of junk that happens in real life. And, I jumped in at some point to some of the forums. I think I found RPGNet and dragonsfoot.org were the big ones that I actually got involved in. And at some point, I saw a video by Tetsubo57, and I really wasn't even aware that people were making videos on YouTube and that sort of thing. And it was called RPG Pondering, Old School versus Modern Games. And I had, I didn't take offense to it, but I said, gee, I have an alternate take on this. And so it irked me enough that I decided, heck, I'm going to make my own video. So I did, and it was, like 15 minutes long. It was ridiculous, and, it took a long time to get to the point, and, in my estimation, it wasn't great. However, for whatever reason, it kind of struck a chord with the OSR community and got a bunch of views, for that, type of, community. Several hundred at the time, and I don't know where it stands right now. Maybe it's at $2,000 or whatever, not tons, but, big for what it was. And, I said, what the heck, I'll make some more videos. And, mostly, what I made, if you go back and look at my old catalog, are videos regarding like, old school, like, first edition basic D&D. I did a bunch of like mechanic studies. I got introduced to things like, where the hobby was then as far as Dungeons and Dragons, like, Pathfinder and 4th edition. And so I was kind of trying to wrap my head around all that and, made some, I guess, kind of almost like I was being a bit of an apologist for old school games, It's funny, I never thought of it that way or in that word, but, complex games apologists looked at some of my old videos and said, you're kind of being an apologist. Anyhow, so fast forward, around July 2012, like I needed to take care of real life issues right then. So I stopped making videos. I really pretty much just got, out of the hobby and got a lot of stuff at the time and concentrated on some things I needed to concentrate on. And, at sometime, somewhere mid, I can't remember exactly when, 2015, I started to get involved again, and I was on some forum or whatnot. I found something where somebody recommended this game called Swords and Six-Siders. So I got it, and I was impressed enough with it. I figured, what the heck, I'm gonna make a video. In fact, I think my girlfriend had a laptop with a camera and everything. I said, what the heck, I'll use that. I'll make a video, and it was fun, and it got a bunch of views. And I think the creator of the game linked it to his site, and so neat. So I decided, what the heck, that was kind of fun. So I made a few more videos. And it was kind of, on again, off again sort of thing. And I was starting to take a look again at where I was going to go with the hobby. Kind of gravitating towards, really basic D&D at that point and things like Lamentations of the Flame Princess. And, it's kind of like stop-start. And at some point I noticed, because I didn't realize, I didn't look at my notifications, that JDRD30 had linked or tagged me for a video. And I forget who actually did it. It was like 10 questions. I think Condor DM was probably it. That's ringing a bell. And so I said, neat. So I answered those questions. And it's funny because, Francois, JDRD30, had mentioned that, I was one of these guys that he used to watch. And I was like, it was really kind of blown away. Like, like, that's really cool. Thanks, man. And it's funny, if I go back and look at my metrics for the time I wasn't making videos, there's these spikes where people are watching my videos, which I'm like, why? But kind of funny. Every once in a while when I look at my metrics now, I go look back and, geez, that's kind of weird. However, I'm digressing. Which, if you're familiar with my channel, I do. And so I had like fits and starts, didn't have a heck of a lot to talk about here and there, but what ended up happening as I started to watch, JDRD30's channel, started to rewatch some of the old like things I'd seen from Samwise 7 RPG, and started to look at who they liked, and got at some point, I couldn't tell you exactly when, introduced to this whole RPG brigade, this whole community of YouTube posters, and then the group around that, and started to really check some of their stuff out, and all of a sudden it became a dialogue. I started to get interested in what they had to say. I got exposed to different opinions. I started to find channels that I liked, and for lack of a better word, binge watched, because this is a thing nowadays with Netflix and everything else. Started to binge watch the channels, see who these people were, what they were about, what their ideas were about. And got interested in that and started to make some response videos. And then what happened is I started to get some responses back. And, all of a sudden it became this dialogue. And I went from having nothing to talk about to all of a sudden I had to write a list of like things I might get to as ideas were kind of coming to me. And so that's where I am right now. in terms of like, why am I making so many videos? And it also just became a habit lately. Maybe the last 6 months or whatever. Just come home, make a quick video. I've got a couple things stewing that I was thinking about anyway. My job is kind of mindless, so I have time during the day to think about a bunch of things, and sometimes it's that, and something will stick with me. But I think it's just because of the engagement in the community. And every once in a while it's just kind of having, I'll think, well, what am I going to talk about today? And hopefully at some point I slow down. You're probably getting sick of it. It is getting, can be a bit daunting, but it's not something I feel like obligated to do all the time. Every once in a while, But I think it'll be okay if I don't make a video. But that's why I just have this kind of backlog of ideas. And as I jump back into the hobby and have more experiences with it, it's creating more thoughts. And then I've discussed things with people. More things kind of come up. And I tell you what, if you haven't made videos and you're thinking about doing it, go ahead and do it. Nothing's stopping you. Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly until you can do it well. And it takes practice. It takes time to find your voice. Even if you're a little shy or whatever, you can find some way to figure out how to do this. I can't find my little prop here, so I'll use it for another time to kind of goad another brigade member into making videos. We keep on saying, you really ought to do that. You have a lot to contribute. So that's it. That's why I'm making so many freaking videos. And I'm sure as I continue to play more, one of the things I'm looking forward to doing is as I start DMing more on the regular, game mastering more on the regular, just playing more on the regular, talking about some of the things that have happened in the game. I really appreciate people that do that and bring up, obstacles or things that came up and how did I handle this? What am I still looking for answers on? That sort of thing. So that's it. The end.